Silence for our fallen comrade.
Yes.
Okay, roll call.
Knight. Balt.
Here.
Dean.
Here.
Nichols.
Here.
Bontrager.
Here.
Pavilio.
Here.
Walkley.
Okay, approve the agenda. Do I have a motion? Or whatever.
A motion.
So move.
Here we-
Second. I'll second.
Okay. Mike?
Alt.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yep.
Dean.
Yes.
Pavilio.
Yes.
Bontrager.
Yes.
Okay. Public comments. Oh, yep.
Yeah, we skipped the minutes.
Oh, we did, didn't we? I'm sorry. See, I am. Excuse me. Slap me awake.
No, that's Leo.
Okay.
And Larry, you didn't hear, but he's spent some time this week in the hospital and a lot of tests, and he came right here from the hospital.
No, in a roundabout way, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, approval of minutes then. Addition, deletions, or motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Do we have a second?
I'll second again.
Okay, Larry, we're
Okay.
good. We're good.
Okay.
Okay. Bontrager.
Yeah, yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Dean.
Yes.
Pavilio.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and then we'll go with public comments, all right? Guess not. Okay. Next part's yours, Mike. Public
Okay,
hearing.
It's all mine, so, yeah, real quick, guys, we had, Carl Genzik, real quick, he had been on our zoning board of appeals for a number of years, recently passed away from cancer, very, very recently. And I had the pleasure, even though he was sick and we knew he wasn't coming, I made it a point to take him his packets every month, just so, he could read them and do whatever. And the last time we sat and talked for 15 minutes or so, he was outside reading, and he just wanted me to say how much he thoroughly enjoyed being on this board and everybody that was on it. So it was neat. So good. Well, what we have, you've all got your packets. Am I pronouncing that right? Barak, SLS? Baruch. They own property on Sunnyside Drive. The key property they own is a senior nursing home type facility right there at Wildwood Condos. Years ago, I'm not sure how long ago, they bought a site that was to the east of it across, and it had it has a home on it, but it also had a detached accessory building that had been in conjunction with a home that was there years ago. And that home was in rough shape, and it was torn down, or the home was torn down. And I don't know if it was torn down before you folks owned it, or if it was even before they purchased the site. What they have done, this is what the detached accessory building looks like. You've got pictures in your packet, and it's got a beautiful, beautiful tree there. But this location, it's one family residential, and it's surrounded by a residential plan unit development, which is the Wildwood Condos, and then the nursing facility that was also rezoned to accommodate for that. But the actual property is zoned one family residential, as are the properties across Sunnyside Drive that are on the lake. The lot that we're talking about, they did a split recently. The lot is 200 foot wide. It actually could be split into two 100 foot wide lots if there wasn't a building right in the middle of it. And so anyway, it literally is right on that center line of the two lots. This is the house that they split off. The lot was, I think, about 320 feet wide at one point. Out of curiosity, has it sold?
We have, sale pending.
Okay, good, good. I want to get into the review standards, which also are in our ordinance, but also in the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act. And it's simply, we're all familiar with it, the Zoning Board of Appeals may authorize a variance from the strict application of the provisions of the ordinance, where by reason of exceptional narrowness, shallowness, shape, or area of a specific piece of property at the time of enactment of the ordinance, or by reason of exceptional conditions of such property, the strict application of the regulations enacted would result in peculiar or exceptional practical difficulties or exceptional undue hardship upon the owner of such property. Staff, meaning myself and John Wallace, we feel the one exception is that this detached garage has been on this site for decades, and there used to be a home there. It was dilapidated, it was torn down, and in 2008, prior to them purchasing it, the lots were combined. And anyway, that's well before I worked here, but the lots were combined. Other review standards which we're familiar with are the 5, and that is that the requested variance will not impair an adequate supply of light and air to adjacent property. We certainly don't feel leaving a structure that's already there is going to affect any neighboring properties. The second standard is the variance will not increase congestion in public streets. We don't feel it's going to affect traffic volume in any way, and there is not an entrance to it off of the Wildwood condominium south side, so it's not really a factor there either, we don't feel. Third standard, the requested variance will not increase the danger of fire or endanger the public safety. And again, we don't feel leaving a structure that already exists is going to endanger the public safety. The next standard is that the requested variance will not unreasonably diminish or impair established property values within the surrounding area. Again, there's no reason it exists already. It's going to affect anything in any way as far as property value. And lastly, the requested variance will not impair the public health, safety, comfort, morals, or welfare of the inhabitants of the city. And again, staff, we don't feel that if it's approved, it will impair the public health, safety, morals, comfort, welfare of the inhabitants of our city of Cadillac. One thing we do feel, and this is kind of where this all came about, is they're selling the home. Obviously, it's going to get them some money. My understanding was when they bought this property, they were thinking of potentially adding a second senior nursing home type there. By selling off the home, reducing the size of the lot, they would have had to have literally demoed the home to have enough room to put a senior nursing facility there. But that's kind of out of the question for that site at this time. And we did allow them to do a split so that they could have the home, sell it, and we did tell them up front that normally there would not be a building on the vacant lot. You would need a variance from the Zoning Board of Appeals to leave that structure there, whether it be short-term, long-term. Regardless, it would need a variance. We certainly weren't going to tell them immediately tear it down and figure out what you're going to do with the stuff that's in the building. We probably, staff would have given them 90 days or whatever, but we suggested they come before you folks and try to come up with something, because if someone does want to purchase that lot, it's ready-made with a 2-car garage on site. They would have to build a home with a large enough living space footprint on the main floor to maintain that 65% for an accessory building. So if someone were to buy it with the intent, it's one family residential, we would require a home with a floor plan living area of at least 1,200 square foot to be able to have that detached accessory structure meet that standard. So it would just be required. it would be required. In our discussions, this is where we kind of came up with, come to the Zoning Board of Appeals, see if they can give you a time frame to either figure out where you're gonna put the stuff that's in the building and destroy it, or potentially sell it to someone that wants to purchase a 200-foot wide lot on Sunnyside Drive. And, again, this is why I suggested, and John, that a specific expiration time be included, that one or the other happens. They either sell it and somebody builds a home, or they get rid of the building, one or the other. And that's why it's here before you folks. A 5-year thing was what they're asking for. That is a condition that we want as staff, but then again, you're the Zoning Board of Appeals. You could pick 10 years, you could pick 1 year, if it's something you wish to approve. The 5-year is what we came up with. And notices of this public hearing were placed in the newspaper. Property owners within 300 feet of the site were given notice via mail. We heard from nobody. None of the neighbors had any questions or anything. It was, we received nothing. And lastly is the board action, and based on a finding of compliance or non-compliance with the standards of the ordinance, the board shall approve with conditions, or deny the variance application. Reasonable conditions may be attached to an approval in order to achieve compliance with the standards of the ordinance. That's it for me. Basically, any questions that you might have for myself or for the gentleman with Baruch? I'm pronouncing it wrong. Any questions you've got, please ask us.
Any questions for Mike?
Have we ever done this before? We ever approved a structure on a vacant lot to be built on a later date?
In my 8 years of here, nothing's come before you before.
Okay.
I personally question whether staff maybe in the future did it.
Mhm.
I know of one case where a home was demoed and the lot was purchased, but it was purchased by a family
Mhm.
that owns homes on each side of it.
Okay.
So it's, yeah,
Okay.
but it's not, you know what I mean? It wasn't,
Yeah.
I'm not aware of anyone, to my knowledge, that has done a split and done this, to put it up for sale,
Yeah, my curiosity is how do they handle it in real estate? But I suppose it's, a thing when you buy it, you sign that you have to build within.
We
Certain
have the
time.
minutes, and that's why that's another reason why we thought it just should not be open-ended.
Mm-hmm.
There should be a specific time frame, because like you had mentioned to me, 5 years from now, Mike Coy may not be here, John Wallace may not be here. Who's gonna catch it?
Mm-hmm.
I think enough people know we would hope it would,
Mm-hmm.
but, and our big concern is, we don't want this turned into a vacant lot where somebody who maybe lives in the area says, oh, this'll be perfect, I can put my cars in it, I can store my boats and boat hoists and campers on the property, and it's just, yeah.
Sure.
Any other questions for Mike? Any public comments?
You just get to answer questions.
Okay. Well, then I guess it's the next thing. Motion or,
I got a question for them. So is the plan is you don't know what you're gonna do with it? You don't know if you're gonna sell it? You don't know if you're gonna split it?
Well, our plan is, we have to come up with some place to store the items that are in there. We're required by licensing to have a certain amount of beds, dressers, things like that,
Mhm.
available for people that come into our facility that don't have anything. So we have to store, and we don't have currently for Sunnyside, we don't have any place to do that. So we're asking for this time period so we can figure that part out of where we may end up renting a storage unit someplace and doing it that way, or seeing if there's someplace on our property that would make sense to do it. So our intent is not to, you know, have this building for forever. We're not sure what we want to do with the property at this point. But we decided to sell the house because the housing market, right now, there's a shortage of housing. Originally, our plan was to just tear it down. And so we decided that's probably, from a community perspective, not the right thing to do in times like this. So that's why we split that off.
Sherry, I'd like to add the nursing home that they do own. There is some property behind it, but it has a severe slope topography-wise going to a lowland area. Because that was one of the things I first thought when I looked at the GIS of the nursing home area was, well, if they got room to build something back there, but then when you looked at the topography and how steep of a slope it is, it just, they've got to figure it out.
I move that we approve a variance such that the current owners or any future owners will have until September 17th, 2026 to either remove the unconforming accessory building or begin construction of a new home that will bring the accessory building into compliance. Or into conformity, I guess.
Okay. Do we have,
I'll second it.
okay.
Nichols,
Yes.
Bontrager,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Fault,
Yes.
Pavilio.
Yes.
Gentlemen, thank you for driving up from Grand Rapids.
Thank you for your help. Thank you for all of your help. We really appreciate it,
just-
because we wanted to do it the right way.
We met with John Wallace and just tossed ideas around. So,
So you got 5 years to figure out, so
Well, we will. Hurry up.
they can go fast.
They do go fast,
so,
but we will figure it out, and we're about doing what's right, so.
good. Thanks again for making
Thank
the
you.
trip.
You set with us then?
I'm all set. I'm all set. Yep.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
No table items, is there, that I know
Not that
of?
I'm aware of.
Well, public comments. I guess we
Great to
adjourn.
see everybody.
Yeah.
That was a
Good
quick
to
and
see you.
dirty one. Thank goodness.
Good.
Are we adjourned?